What is up, Transformers? I am back with another food education session. Remember, these sessions are for your benefit because they're gonna let you look at somebody else's progress, somebody else's food logs, and learn from them. So this one is a little bit longer, but I think it's a great example for you about what really drives weight gain and what doesn't. So make sure you give it a watch, and make sure you also put it in your folders and keep it for later reference and later use. And remember, I'm always pulling for you, and I hope you learn from it. Let's go ahead and check out the video. It's Dr. Kathleen Nash with Total Transformation, and after getting your last email with your food logs, I felt it was really necessary to send you a video because there seems to be a real disconnect with your performance on the program and your results. So in order to help get you on track, I pulled up a couple of things. Hopefully after this video is over, you'll have a better understanding of where things are going wrong. So the first thing I'm gonna pull up here is the email that you sent me. Hi, Dr. Nash, I'm following the plan. 1,100 calories is much easier for me to eat. The problem is I'm not losing any weight. This is starting to depress me. Any suggestions? Thank you. So I want you to keep track of this part here where you're saying that you're following the plan, okay, but you're not losing any weight. All right, so that's what we're going to address. So I'm going to go ahead and close that. Now, in order for me to help you, I'm going to give you some background information. The first bit of background information that I'm going to give you comes right out of your food management plan. So the main food management plan that you're looking at is the one with the picture of me on the front. Right? If you go 2 pages in, there's going to be something that says a word about plateaus, okay? And right here is one of the core concepts that you must understand in order for you to be successful, not only with your weight loss, but to make the weight loss permanent and to reverse disease and to get you off medications, right? Everything centers around you doing this particular set of instructions. First of all, I have already calculated the lowest amount of calories in the best types of foods compatible with your specific metabolic issues that you can eat for 30 days to achieve the best results. Omitting, leaving foods out, or changing foods from your food management plan will result in less desirable correction, ultimately leading to poor results. For the best results possible, follow your food management plan exactly the way I outline it. So why is this so important? Why does it matter how much you eat and that you're eating exactly the foods that I want you to? And it's because only 30% of your weight problem is coming from how much you eat or how much you move, right? So the whole calories in, calories out strategy and that a calorie is just a calorie, that's only 30% of your problem, and it's probably even less than that, okay? I'm overestimating, which means the bulk of your weight loss is coming from something else, okay? 10% of your fat is coming from genetics, meaning you can't control if you're a man or a woman, you can't control what age you are, you can't control what race you are, you can't control who your parents were, right? So they transferred some genetic material to you. The good news is it's only about 10% of the weight gain. The bad news is you can do really nothing about it, okay? Now, 60% of the fat and the disease that is coming into your body is coming from damage that has occurred inside the biology. So changes have occurred inside your biology, and these changes are signaling on a chemical or a hormonal level for your body to gain weight. So that can be anything from dysfunction in your liver, dysfunction in your kidneys. It can be hormones that are depleted. It can be hormones that are imbalanced, which for you is a huge one. Hormones that are imbalanced. Okay, it can be that your toxicity is too high. It could be that your pH is too low. Okay, and all of these issues are independent of how much you eat and how much you move. Because I said that hormones were the big issue with you, a hormone imbalance, this is the hormone that is causing a big amount of the problem. You are resistant to insulin. Okay, and insulin is the hormone that tells the body hormonally to store fat. Insulin is also the hormone that will stop the body from accessing and burning its body fat. And insulin is mainly triggered by grains, alcohol, sugar, and starch, or what I call the gas carbohydrates. In your food management plan, I'm using food as a medication, and it's a prescription medication, and it's a potent prescription medication, which means your ability to be successful on the program is hugely dependent on your ability to follow the instructions of that food management plan, because I'm not just controlling your calories, I'm controlling insulin and this hormone response, which for you up until now is overreactive and resistant, and it's driving a big portion of the weight gain. So now that we've got the background information, we're going to look at what does your food management plan tell you to do? On your food management plan, first of all, it says at each meal, 1 portion of each of the food types must be eaten. And then I remind you again that leaving any of these things out or substituting things may result in slower results. And for optimum effectiveness with your metabolism, please adhere and follow all food recommendations. So now I've said it twice. Let's look at your food diary, okay? So here on 412, for breakfast, you had cheese, okay, cheese is in there. Whey protein, the 34 grams of protein powder I want you to eat is the muscleline protein powder, not whey, okay? The protein powder or the muscleline shake that I use has about 14 grams of fat in it, and that's done for a good reason because it helps control the insulin response. I never said to eat whey protein, okay? And so now you're eating whey protein and you're adding almond milk. So again, 1 portion of each of the 4 food types must be eaten. But yet here in breakfast, you're eating 2 portions from the cheese or the dairy category, and you're putting in a protein that's not on your plan, okay? So we're making substitutions and changes and leaving things out and adding things in that are not part of your program, and you're sabotaging yourself, but we're gonna keep going, okay? Lunch, steak, that's fine. Coleslaw, there's no coleslaw on my program. Cabbage is on my program, but the problem with coleslaw is that usually it has sugar added into it, and I just got done saying that grains, alcohol, sugar, and starch are going to trigger a weight gain, not because of the calories, but because of the hormone response, okay? So now I'm getting a hormone response from this whey protein. I'm getting a hormone response from the sugar they add to the coleslaw. Okay, then you ate the tomato, then you ate the cheddar cheese. Again, the coleslaw and the tomato, that's now 2 things out of the vegetable category. But right here, I said 1 choice per meal, not 2. Okay, dinner, cottage cheese, yes, that's on there. And then blueberries, the berries are supposed to be eaten only in breakfast or lunch, not dinner. Okay, so now you've added fruit or sugar at night right before you go to bed, going to trigger an insulin response, going to tell your body to store fat. And I have nothing from the protein category. I have nothing from the vegetable category. Okay, and sure enough, you only lost like 0.2 pounds, even though you're eating 1,000 calories, right? 1,100 calories, but yet it only lost 0.2. And this is because calories don't drive weight gain. Damage, hormones, biology drives weight gain, not calories. And that's the part that I'm trying to teach you as you go through the program, okay? You gotta let go of the calorie content in terms of weight loss. So then we go into the next day, hard-boiled egg. First of all, I need you to eat 2 to 3, not 1, okay? Cabbage salad, we don't know what salad means. If you say salad to me, I think you're adding other vegetables to it. If you ate cabbage, say cabbage. But don't say salad, or I'm thinking you're adding vegetables and I don't want you to do that. And then the cheddar cheese, that's fine. Lunch, steak, mixed vegetables. Again, I don't want you to mix vegetables because there's an enzyme response that can cause water retention. It means that you'll see a higher number on the scale that has nothing to do with your fat gain or loss, but it'll depress you, okay? And then the string cheese, that's fine. And then category in dinner, you had the whey protein again, which is not on my program. And then you added milk and string cheese to it. Make sure that you're using the muscleline shake because of the fat content that's in the product, and don't add any other categories to it. If you choose to do the muscleline shake, that's the only thing you're having in that meal, and you can only do it once a day, okay? But you saw a decent weight loss, so that's good. And then breakfast, cottage cheese, and blueberries. But again, two categories are missing. For lunch, pulled pork. There's no pork on here. Pork is not here, okay? Swiss chard is also not on here. White wine is definitely not on here because, again, there are 4 big food groups that trigger your body to store fat and create new fat. Alcohol is definitely one of them. Okay, alcohol is a product that can only be processed and metabolized by your liver. When it's metabolized by your liver, it leaves behind a fatty droplet. That fatty droplet gunks up your liver's ability to convert body fat into fuel and convert your thyroid hormone into the active form. It also signals a huge response with insulin, which is also telling your body to store body fat. And the body will store fat not just from the wine, but from everything you ate for the 4 hours surrounding drinking that wine. How about that? Okay, and that's why it's not on plan. Dinner, steak, that's fine. Mixed vegetables, we already talked about it. Cheddar cheese, fine. Snack, peanut butter and Dave's bread. What the hell? There's no peanuts. Peanuts are a legume, they're not a nut, okay? And they're not on here, and there's no bread on here. So that bread is a grain, and between the grain that you're eating from the bread and the legume that you're getting from the peanut butter and the wine that you drank that day, you're signaling for your body to gain, and you did it all day long. Not from the calories, from the hormone response. And sure enough, look what happened. The next day, bam, it went up. We keep going. Protein powder, I've already hit that. Shredded beef, sour cream, cheddar cheese, that's great. What the hell is that? French fries? No. French fries are a starch, okay? There's no potato anywhere on the program. So again, the next day, insulin's too high from your previous day, and you tag it again at lunchtime, right? And then dinner, eat nothing. So now you're starving the body and not giving it enough food, and the food you're giving it is signaling for it to gain fat. And what happened? You went from 127.2 to 127.6 on 600 calories. And this is why. It's because calories don't drive weight gain. Hormones drive weight gain, okay? And so I'm not saying it to you in this tone to reprimand you. Well, that's a lie. I'm reprimanding you. But I want you to understand this concept, because this is where not only you, but so many Americans are going wrong. This is why obesity is 70% in our country. This is why kids have type 2 diabetes. This is why diabetes is an epidemic. This is why we spend $400 billion on obesity and obesity-related conditions. Because people still believe that calories are driving their weight problem, not biological issues. Breakfast, steak, that's fine. Spinach, that's fine. Cheddar cheese, that's fine. Brilliant. Thank you. That was a good meal. That's a great meal. Whey protein, I've already tagged that. Steak, mixed vegetables, string cheese, right? And then the snack is cottage cheese and blueberries. No, the snack that you can have is either an apple or a quarter cup of berries, not cheese and blueberries, okay? But because you were closer to following the plan than you were on the couple previous days, weight went down. Sure enough, you helped bring the insulin hormone back down by being closer to following the food management plan. And as a result, the weight came down. Does that make sense? All right, let's keep going. Whey protein, I've already tagged that. Lunch, cottage cheese, blueberries. Again, under eating. Punishing the body by starving it to death is not going to fix its hormone problem, is not going to fix its liver issue, is not going to fix any toxicity problems or pH. It's not calories, right? But you don't know that for right now. Dinner, scrambled eggs and bacon, that's fine. Cottage cheese, that's fine. V8 juice, no, there's nothing about V8 juice here. One, because when you juice vegetables, you remove the fiber and jack up the sugar. I looked up V8 juice. V8 juice has 8 carbs in it, half of which are coming from sugar, added sugar. So this is an example of how you're going to trigger your body to gain weight with a stupid can of juice, right? And then the almonds is once a day, okay? And you've already had blueberries at lunch, so your once a day is over. That's why over here it says eat only in breakfast or lunch, means once a day, okay? And not at dinner. But you're having it as a snack somewhere and you've already had blueberries, okay? But even so, closer to my program than you have been in the previous attempts, and so you saw a tiny bit of a weight loss. That's good, okay? Why? Because you were closer to what I asked you to do. Still didn't do it right, but you were closer, okay? And then we go into the next day, V8 juice again, and a navel orange, right? So now you're giving your body nothing but sugar for breakfast. Now the body's going to be in fat burning for the next 4 hours. And then you go into the protein shake, which I'm assuming is the whey shake. And then dinner, spinach, mixed vegetables, and Swiss cheese. The snack is peanuts. Peanuts aren't on the program. It's a legume, not a nut. We've already touched that. 419, Denver omelet. We don't know what's in it. Okay, I don't eat a Denver omelet. My staff doesn't. I need you to let me know what's in the food. If you are somewhere where you're like at a restaurant and you're ordering things, especially breakfast is an easy one. Tell them you want bacon and eggs, or if you're going to do the omelet, that's fine. Tell them you want a 3-egg omelet and they can add spinach and cheese, or they can add mushroom and cheese, or they can add onion or cheese, or they can add asparagus or cheese, and they can add tomato or cheese. So breakfast is an easy one to do, but don't just take what they give you, because chances are they're going to put in foods that you're not supposed to be eating to correct the body. Later on, when the body's corrected, the Denver omelet is probably fine. But during correction, it's not, okay? And then steak, mixed vegetables, we already talked about that. Whey protein, we already talked about that. And then, so sure enough, your body went from 126.8 to 127.0. That's actually pretty decent. Considering that you were off plan a little bit. But again, these issues you're having have nothing to do with the calories. It's from what you're eating. And then we go into 420, steak. There's the coleslaw again, and then the tomato. So now we're not only mixing vegetables, but we're adding a coleslaw, which has other material in it as well, whether that's mayonnaise, whether that's vinegar, whether that's lemon juice, whether that's sugar, which usually is, okay? And then cheddar cheese. Okay, that's fine. And then lunch was steak. There's the coleslaw again. I'm not going to tag it. Watermelon. No. On this particular plan, the only fruit I'm letting you eat is the avocado and the berries. And that's because avocado doesn't have any sugar at all. And berries has very, very little. Watermelon has a lot and very little fiber, which means there's nothing to slow all that sugar going into your bloodstream. That means a high insulin response. How much you want to bet you didn't lose any weight the next day? Category D, scrambled eggs and bacon, and coleslaw again, right? And no category C. I said B, but it's really C, okay? And then sure enough, you didn't lose anything. Calciprese, okay? Weight, 421, whey protein, almond milk, shrimp, spare rib. I don't know if that's beef or pork. I don't know if there's sauce or anything on it. And then salad, which sounds like we're mixing vegetables again, peach cobbler. Okay, peach cobbler has grain and sugar. Okay, I'm not sure how peach cobbler only has 15 calories. Like if you only had a bite of it, I'm assuming like you took one bite of peach cobbler, right? And then dinner was beef patty, cottage cheese, berries. But then eating only 1,100 calories, the weight went from 127 to 128. This is a great example of how the quantity of the food, meaning the calorie content, has nothing to do with the hormone reaction, okay? That bite of peach cobbler you had causes a hormone reaction to the body because the body's got a control of that blood sugar. It has to stay in a very narrow range. So the body is incredibly sensitive to foods that make the blood sugar go up and is going to radically respond to it when you have an insulin problem, which you do. So even though you only had a bite of peach cobbler, that's like taking a very small match to a pool of gasoline. So can you see that it doesn't matter if I take a blowtorch to the pool of gasoline, a sparkler, or a tiny little match and strike it, that I'm going to get the same chemical reaction. Kaboom! Same thing here. Same exact thing, same thing here. When we're trying to correct an insulin problem or a hormone problem, you can't screw around on this, or you're going to stop your progress, and this is why. One little bite of peach cobbler and you gained a pound. How about that? And chances are it was more than 15 calories because unless you had like a crumb that accidentally fell on the floor or like the tiniest piece of it ever, it was probably more than 15 calories, okay? Next day, scrambled eggs, bacon, toast, and jam. That's a grain. And that's a sugar. So now first thing in the morning, we've taken categories out and we've added foods in that give the hormone response to gain weight. And now your body's going to be in weight gain mode until at least 1 or 2 p.m. It depends on when you had breakfast, okay? So the problem with this hormone response is it doesn't just make you store fat from that little specific food. You don't just store fat from the toast and the jam. Your body's going to store fat from all of that food that you ate. You basically gave your body the hormone signal to take the scrambled eggs and the bacon and the toast and the jam and the apple and the cheese and the almonds, convert it into fat, lock it away, and don't burn it. And this is the big problem that our country is having, okay? I know that this video is a little bit long, and I know that I sound irritated. I'm not irritated at you, per se. I'm irritated because I've given you the information so that you can make these changes, and I've tried to indicate in several places in your food management plan that you don't want to deviate, you don't want to leave things out, and you don't want to switch because they can have devastating consequences on your results. And what you're showing me with all of this stuff is that, yeah, that's exactly what's happening. The part that I'm concerned about is where you said that you're following the plan. So I'm not sure why you feel that all of these issues going on is you following the plan. Because there were only, out of all of those days, there were maybe just 3 or 4 meals, maybe, where you did what we were telling you to do. And as a result, all of these little deviations and a bite of this and a bite of that, and if I eat this little amount of food, eating less is better. No, it's not. Okay, so the part that I really want to drill into your head again and again and again is that it is not how much you're eating. It is not the calorie content or the energy that's driving the weight gain. It's the hormone response that the food you're eating is giving to the body, okay? So my recommendation for you would be to go back, look through your food management plan, and make sure that you are actually eating the way we are telling you to eat, and not assuming that you're doing it close enough that you should see a result, okay? Hopefully that's gonna clear a lot of that stuff up. If you have any questions, please let me know, but I hope that gets you back on the right path, and I look forward to talking to you soon. Bye-bye.